What is up? This video is just going to be like a cozy little talky video for the booktube newbie tag that I've seen going around on YouTube for a while now. I'm doing this so that you get to know what kind of reader I am and you know sort of what to expect in future videos. So these 10 questions have been standardized. I don't know where they're from. I've been trying to look for the source, but I couldn't find it. I just plucked the questions out of a YouTube video that I watched. So let's just get right to it. The first question is, why did you start this channel? Good question. I have no life. No, I'm kidding. I just love talking about books, and I feel like books are the only things that I'm confident enough to talk about to the internet. At first, I thought I'd be travel vlogging, but I don't really travel as much. And then I thought I'd be documenting my life, like daily vlogs. But nothing really goes on in my life, so this might be the best content for YouTube for me. There's nothing I do more in this world than read books. So yeah, I guess a follow-up question some might have would be, why Silver Ocean Letters? This used to be my username in old blogs, but long story short, Emily Dickinson, one of the very few poets that I read, she described the ocean and the sea as silver. And I thought at first, that's ridiculous. The sea is blue. So is the ocean, because it, reflects the sky, right? I'm not sure if that's scientifically correct, but I know it's blue. But there was a time that I went to the beach and I looked out the window. It was a beachfront house, right? And I saw the water was sparkling silver. It was reflecting light from the sun, and the skies were clear and the water was silver. I just loved that whole concept of art changing how you see things. That's why I named my channel, Silver Ocean Letters. So question number 2 is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to YouTube? I don't know about fun. I mean, I have a lot of fun on my own. I guess that's up to you if you want to join in on the fun. But in terms of uniqueness, I think it's very uncommon for me to see people call themselves slow readers. So yeah, I like to savor books. I like to take my time to read and really dive into literature. I guess because I am a literature major, that's how I've been conditioned to read ever since university. So yeah, I'm a very slow reader. Again, I call myself the slowest reader in all of Southeast Asia. I should have that trademarked. So yeah, I think that's what will set me apart from others. I'm not really in a hurry, I mean, I have goals, like I have reading goals, but if I don't hit them, nothing really happens. So if you're a slow reader, just like me, welcome to the club. It's a miracle if I finish more books in a month. That means I've taken more trips to the hospital because I read the most when I'm waiting for tests in the hospital. So those are the fun and unique things that I can bring to YouTube. So number 3, what are you most excited about for your channel? I guess what I'm most excited about is meeting people who read the same things and the community in the comment section. I'm not expecting to have, an explosion of comments on my comment section, but rather just a handful of people who might have read the same things and who might want to talk about it. Think of it as like a Reddit page where people will just layer over one another in terms of commentary and opinions, and whether positive or negative about a certain book or maybe a certain opinion that I had that you might not agree with. I'd love to hear opposing remarks about things that I've said on this channel. It's exciting. It's exciting. I know putting yourself out on the internet is a risk, and it's a risk that I'm willing to take just for the sense of community. So number 4, why do you love reading? I haven't asked myself this question in a very long time. I guess I love reading because I'm a writer. And as a writer, you really get to appreciate the craft when you read more books. As a reader, I'm really technical. I guess that's the reason why I'm very slow as well, is that when I'm reading, I look at technique and skill rather than the story sometimes. And it's tiring. It's exhausting. It takes time for me to really appreciate the story because I'm busy appreciating all the thought and effort and skill and technique that went into creating this piece of art. So that's what makes me love reading a lot. That's why I love reading. I mean, I also love just words in general. I love the art of putting words together to create something beautiful, to create something that you can imagine in your head. You know how people say, like, pictures are worth 1,000 words? I feel like words are worth 1,000 pictures. So yeah, I just love words. I love anything readable. I love everything written, whether that's a book or a manual or prescription or the back of a shampoo bottle. Just words in general. I love words. So number 5, what book series got you into reading? When I was 6 years old, my eldest sister gave me a book that absolutely just flung me into the throes of reading. So like since then I haven't stopped. It's called Madison Finn. And I'm sure many young girls my age would have remembered who Madison Finn was. She's just an ordinary girl with boy problems. And I guess what's special about her is at the end of each chapter, I'm not sure if it's each chapter or a few chapters, or at the end of each book, I remember her having like this typewritten diary entry. And that was new and cool because at that time, computers weren't really a big thing yet. It wasn't a necessity to have a computer. Yeah, I just loved that series. I think I had 20 of those books. I don't have the physical copies of the books anymore. I'm sad about it. I don't know where they've gone. I guess in the middle of moving homes, I've lost them. That series really started my reading journey. And yeah, I've loved books since then. So number 6, what questions would you ask your favorite YouTubers? One thing I'd like to ask them is, have you ever lied about reading a book? I'm curious. I'm just curious. I guess at some point we all have lied about reading a certain book, right? So that's one thing I want to ask them. Like, which book have you reviewed publicly that you haven't actually read? Right. I think it's a good question. So yeah. Okay, so 7. What challenges will be the hardest with BookTube? I think what would challenge me the most is consistency and frequency of uploading. I told myself I'd upload a video every 10 days, and so far I've been consistent, but I fear for the days when I'm either burnt out or so busy with work. You know, I work a 9 to 5. I have responsibilities. I have pets to care for. So that's what I'm afraid of. Hopefully I don't get burnt out enough for me to quit. Maybe burnt out and then, I'll give it a rest for a month or so. But I don't want to stop creating these videos and uploading, so that's what I fear. So the next question is, when did you start reading? So I mentioned the Madison Finn series, right? After that, I've been reading a book every month or so since then. But the first books that I've read, like really read, were of course children's books, like Shel Silverstein. I used to read a lot of Bible stories, and I used to read my mother's art books as well. That's why I was so obsessed with the girl with the pearl earring painting. It's because I went through all my mother's art books when I was young. So those were the first things that I remember reading. I might have read something else when I was like 3, but I don't remember. So I'll let you know if I do. The 9th question is, where do you read? I guess it's very apt that I am in this setup right now, so I read most of the time on my bed. But there are times that I read in transit, like on the way to work or during my lunch breaks on my office desk. But my favorite place to read, and I think I've mentioned it earlier as well, is at the hospital. When I'm waiting for my doctor's appointment, or I'm waiting for a test result, or I'm waiting for some certain laboratory procedure, that's my favorite spot to read. I don't know why. I can breeze through books when I'm at the hospital. So yeah, that's my favorite place. I know it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. So number 10, the last question. So what kind of books do you read? So I mostly read literary fiction, but I can dip my toes into other genres as well. Like I read a bit of memoirs, nonfiction. I also read productivity books and sometimes fantasy. Rarely. I think if you've watched my old videos, you'd know I have like a love-hate relationship with fantasy. But mostly literary fiction. I love books that explore the human condition, or that really study a character, or really dive deep into their psyche, or books about relationships. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic relationships, but familial relationships, friendships, a friendship between coworkers, just relationships in general, just humans being humans. So yeah, those are the things I like to read, and you'll see a lot of those in this channel. It's gotten really dark now, but yeah, that is the BookTube newbie tag. I am very excited to see what else I could do for this channel, to see this journey through, and to have fun. Bye!